Hello YouTubers, the new time travel Jaime 88. I'm back for more Doctor Who DVD review. And today, an ending of an era. And I'm talking about Doctor Who, Planet of the Spiders. Yes, this is the end of the era of a trademark of a smoking jacket. This is John Pertwee's last story. And I tell you, this episode is the best. This 6-part adventure is transmitted on May 4th through June 8th, 1974. And it also marked the uncredited appearances of Tom Baker as the 4th Doctor. And also marks the last appearances of Richard Franklin, the last regular appearances of Mike Yates. The plot begins following the event of the invasion of dinosaurs. Mike Yates was discharged from unit and is now attending a Tiberington meditation center in rural England. He is visited by Sarah Jane Smith, and they witness some curious happening at the center, seemingly organized by the resident called Lupton, a middle-aged former salesman, and his cronies. Mike and Sarah stumble across Lupton's performing of an incarnation which conjure up a giant spider in the middle of a basement room. It jumps from Lupton's back and then disappeared. The spider manifests itself in Lupton's head, telling him to seek out to locate a certain blue crystal. The 3rd Doctor has developed an interesting psychic ability, but his testing of a chorionic called Professor Clegg backfires when his subject has his heart attack triggered when Clegg comes into contact with a blue crystal from Metebelis free sent back from the Amazon by Joe Grant, which caused him to see the image of the deadly spiders. Sarah returns from the retreat and having let Mike to watch things there, and the doctor swamp the spider tail. Meanwhile, Lupton also arrived at unit headquarters and steals the crystal from the doctor's laboratory. A multi-vehicle chase occurs. This is the most chasing scene just like in the James Bond movie. All the chasing scenes, I love that. Chasing with, Lupton chasing around the Who-mobile and the unit crew also there. Yep. Type 1. I love this multi-chase. Where Lupton escaped by teleporting himself back to the monastery. Once there, the spider reveals that is plotting against some of his sisters back on Metebelis 3. The spider and the crystal originates from the same blue planet in Action Galaxy, which was non-to-hospital to the Doctor's last time he visited during the Green Death. The Doctor and Sarah now make for the monastery and it tells the deputy abbot, Cho Jet, that something is very amiss. The crystal now strays again when it's taken by Tommy, the simple mind handyman of the retreat, whose mind opened and approved by the power of a crystal. Lupton is teleported to Metebelis free, unconsciously allowing Sarah to follow him. So she meets the human slave inhabitant of the planet. Generally, despite a bunch of the rebellious Ark, who's now hiding, the planet is ruled by 8-legged or giant spiders, and their queen is the supreme ruler. The government used the guard to choose among the planet's 2-legged human populations and their own phenomenal mental powers amplified by the bloomstone of the planet. The Doctor arrives on the planet and makes contact with Rack, who explains that the Metebilians are descent of the crew of the Earth spaceship which crashed hundreds of years before. A spider on board found its way to the Blue Mountain, where, although effects of the crystal puppet grow larger and larger creeper, the doctor works out that negative stone can absorb and reject the power of the blue crystal and start to revolt the humans. But this defend and the doctor ventured to the Blue Mountain, which there encountered the Great One, a giant spider which controlled the world of Metebelis and desires over the domains too. Domains too, excuse me. She knows that the crystal is still on Earth and sends the doctor to get it for her. He flies back to Earth with Sarah, not knowing the Queen Spider has now implanted himself to companion's mind. Tommen has given the crystal to Abbot Canlapoche, an elderly Time Lord, like Merlin. The one-time hermit mentor of the Doctor now lives in the peaceful exile on Earth. He tells the Doctor of Sarah's control, and they work together to expel the Queen Spider. A fight breaks out in the monastery between Lupin and cronies and the Abbot's men. The Abbot advised the Doctor to take the crystal to the Great One, and started to change the events by removing the crystal into place, and it's up to him to put it back, and he departs the TARDIS with the crystal. On Metebelis free, Lupin has been killed by the giant spider after falling out with the Spider Queen. When the TARDIS land, the Doctor heads to the cave of the Great One and gives her the crystal, which she began to complete and lacerated that began to magnify her mental powers. However, the force is unleashed are too strong for the Great One, and then a positive feedback kills her and the other spiders. A vast waves of deadly radiation flood the cave. The Doctor is now very weak and staggers back to the TARDIS and teleports away. 3 weeks later, Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart and Sarah Jane are in the Doctor's laboratory. When the Doctor finally returns and promptly collapses, believing to be dead, and Sarah Jane begins to cry, and as she tearfully closes the Doctor's eyes, Sarah looks down the Brigadier with the tears rolling down her face. In the despair, the Abbot of Campone arrives, and his new body has regenerated into the form of Cho Jae, which some sort of projection of the soul tells that the Doctor will change, and before the eyes is started to regenerate. And the Brigadier tells her, now wait a minute, and she said, look, Brigadier, it started. And the Brigadier said, well, here we go again. And it regenerate to the fourth Doctor. Yup. It also marks the final appearances of the Who-mobile too. Yep. Anyway, here's this still pictures, by the way. On the DVD commentaries, we have commentary by actor Elizabeth Sladen, Nicholas Courtney, Richard Franklin, producer, director Barry Letts, and script editor Terrence Dix. The Final Curtain, the last story of John Pertwee. John Kane Remembers, directing Doctor Who, Now and Then, Planet of the Spiders Omnibus Edition, Omnibus Trailer, Fuller Gallery, and so forth. Here's Dix 1 and Dix 2. This is the last Doctor Who story to feature his story survive in a color videotape. Among those surviving, this is the story is in color, the last of the junkage policy of the Pertwee story ever. Anyway, this 6-part adventure was rebroadcast on BBC One on December 26, 1974, before Tom Baker arrives. At the end of the Planet of the Spiders rebroadcast, a sneak preview of Tom Baker story, Robot, appears. Well, that's it from here. Remember, if you got a Doctor Who DVD request that you want me to review, feel free to leave me a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. This is the new Time Travel Jaime 88 saying, so long.